สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome everyone joining today's live webinar from Thailand, Hong Kong, Italy, and Singapore. And today's topic is Myrtha innovative architectural and engineering solutions in the aquatic world, which I hope everyone will find the session informative. And for today's program, we have divided our program into 4 different sections. For the first section is an introduction to Myrtha pools. This one will be presented by Mr. Antonio Arpaia, Myrtha's export managers. For the second session, which is on the topic of an introduction to Myrtha technologies, its benefits, the lighting, and the finishing. This one will be presented by Mr. Johnny Lee, distributor for Hong Kong and Macau, and also a long-term consultant. And for the next session is the project reference, which we have 2 project reference. For the first one is the Posh Tower in Miami Beach. This one will be presented by Mr. Julio Orsatis, after sales installation and DPT manager. And for the second project reference is the Galaxy Hotel in Macau. This one will be presented by Mr. Johnny Lee again. And we will end this session with the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat room and we will answer them at the end of this live webinar. And we will randomly select some of the questions since we have limited time. And those questions that are not selected, we will answer them through email after this live webinar. So now I would like to show you Myrtha corporate video, which I think you will find it very interesting as an overview and introductions to Myrtha pools, and it will set the scenes for all the next 3 sessions.
Some say it's only water, but for us, it's so much more. It's the challenge we rise to every day. It's the pleasure of teamwork, the joy of pure creativity. This is the story of how we give water a fresh new form by molding it into a sparkling masterpiece. This is where ideas bubble up, shaped by our Italian sensibility, the flair for creating timeless beauty. Our unique team can make every space truly special, just the way you want it. We are inspired by those who push their limits to create something new. We believe in riding the wave, in harnessing the latest advances to make something tangible, lasting, and perfectly formed.
So next, I would like to welcome Mr. Antonio Arpaia, Myrtha's Pools Export Managers, to give us a brief introduction onto Myrtha Pools.
Hello everyone, and nice meeting you. My name is Antonio Arpaia, and I'm the Asian sales manager, and so for all the Asian markets, including Thailand. And I would like to first of all thank all of you for joining us today. And it's been quite difficult times for everyone in the world, including Thailand, including Italy, including every country. So I highly hope that the worst is past, that we can meet in person very soon. I'm really looking forward to being able to travel to Thailand again. I miss traveling to Thailand. I miss traveling to Asia. I miss meeting up with my distributors, my customers, my clients, and meeting people in person. So for the moment, we learn how to use new tools to keep in touch. One of the tools is using a webinar. So what is the reason for this webinar in particular? As Ponsri told everyone before, we would like to introduce Myrtha Pool to the Thai market, not because Myrtha Pool is new to the Thai market. We've been here before. We have been doing projects earlier. We have references in Thailand as well. But since last year, we have a new long-time partner, which is S Napa, and together we really aim for the best. We want to really be more present in the market. We want to introduce ourselves more. And we want to explain to everyone what the real advantages of our system are. I'm saying a system. Why? Because when you imagine a pool, you imagine a pool maker, you immediately think about a product. So certainly we manufacture a product, but more than a product, we like to think ourselves as more as a solution provider, more as a problem solver, more as a consultant, more as an engineer, design and engineering company. Myrtha Pools was born in 1951 in Italy, so we have a long history. We grew up exponentially through the years. In the last 70 years, we have now a turnover of approximately 100 million euros. We are present worldwide in every single country in the world. We made some pools in the most hard and difficult conditions, and from the deserts to the high rise to really difficult projects, we made them all. We produce more than 1,500 pools a year, but among these pools, most of the pools are big projects. As you know, we are the Olympic Games supplier, but on top of that, we are very much also present in the residential hospitality and high-rise market, which I think is perfect for Thailand. And we want to say what we can do for you. So, especially talking to architects, I would like to say that we've always cooperated very well with architects, not because we want to, we have a big design and engineering capability, but we don't want to replace the architects. We don't want to substitute them. We want to work together with them because we believe that we can do a lot for the architects by working together, by using our design tools, by using the beam design, by being the pool specialist. We can really closely work together and help an architect overcome certain difficulties, save a lot of time, save a lot of money by working together with our design team. So on top of that, we believe that our solutions are so flexible that can really help an architect to realize what he would like, what he envisions in a project, especially if we are involved in the beginning stage of a project. The flexibility which is inherent in our system can really help to make for a much lighter and much more flexible project, integrating something which with other technologies it would be very hard to realize. So sometimes when you think about the pool, you have restrictions, you have weight, you have a lot of concrete, you have big pillars. By integrating our design since the very beginning, you could possibly experience that you have so much less limitations by using our system. So we want to say why Myrtha is an opportunity for everyone with this webinar. And just to say that in Europe, to make an example, the big pools are no longer made in concrete anymore. Concrete is basically not utilized anymore, only for very small backyard pool. When it comes to the big projects, concrete is disappeared. And we believe this is the future. We believe this is what is going to happen in Southeast Asia as well. So by entering the market now, being first, bringing in some innovation in a very traditional market, I think it would be a real breakthrough advantage for everyone. When we think about innovation, we always think about IT sector, technology. We never think about so much innovation in a traditional construction market. But when we think about words like green, light, waterproof, flexible, low maintenance, design, stainless steel, exclusive design, Olympic Games. We think about all these adjectives, what do we envision? We envision the future. We envision something which is not achievable anymore with other technologies, especially with concrete. So it is very much a mental step sometimes to think about working with the technology that people don't really know, because concrete has been there for centuries, and so the new technology sounds like something which we are not very comfortable with. So this is exactly what we want to explain through this webinar. We want to make everybody comfortable, not only comfortable with this new technology, but also really envision what the opportunities can be for everyone, especially relying on two partners, both in Thailand and in our headquarters in Italy, which will take care of everything, accompanying the customer, accompanying the architect, accompanying the general contractor through the whole process, since the very first stage to the end, to the maintenance, and until the maintenance and delivery of the product. So we hope that this webinar will be the first of many others. We hope that we will be able to answer many of your doubts and questions. We want to explain to you what is the difference between our system, what is the difference of our system, other panel pools, which are completely different from us. They don't use stainless steel, they don't use our patent. What is the difference with welded pools? What is the difference with concrete? And so many more questions that you may have. So if this will not be enough, we will have more chances. We will organize more webinars. We will take note of your unanswered questions. And our partner SNAPA will be always there for you to answer. We will also be here to answer your doubts and questions. And as I said before, I hope that we can meet in person very, very soon. Hopefully from September, October, we will already be able to travel back again. So, okay, thank you everyone. I hope you will enjoy the webinar and you will find it useful. I'll talk with you later during the Q&A session. Now I leave the word to the other speakers.
So now I would like to move on to the next presentation by Mr. Johnny Lee, distributor for Hong Kong and Macau, and also the long-term consultants presentations with the topic of introductions to Myrtha technologies, its benefits, the lighting, and the finishing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Lee, and it's my pleasure to present to you about Myrtha Pool's innovation swimming pool design today. So let's get started. As Antonio said, Myrtha Pool is not a new company. We have been in the business since 1961. The Myrtha technology has been invented for over 50 years. And by now, Myrtha Pool is the largest commercial swimming pool builder in the world, bringing about 1,500 pools to over 70 countries every year. And Myrtha Pool is by far the #1 competitive swimming pool supplier in the world. The competitive swimming pool demands very accurate 1/100th of a second accuracy, and Myrtha Pool is the trusted partner of the competitive swimming community. USA Swimming, the most competitive and demanding client, has selected Myrtha Pools for many years and will be with us for many more years, as USA Swimming has absolute confidence with Myrtha Pool system. And for the Olympics, we have been working with the Olympic Committee since 1996 Atlanta Olympics. We've been in the Beijing Olympics, London Olympics, Rio Olympics, and the coming up Tokyo Olympics. For Rio de Janeiro, we built 18 swimming pools for the Olympic community. This is the synchronized swimming warm-up pool. And other than Olympics, we have built swimming pools for World Championships. The FINA World Championships is the next most competitive swimming competitions in the world, and it provides the most record-breaking performance in the world. And this is the Guangzhou. Actually, some of you guys, let me talk to the people. If you cannot see the presentation, you need to log out and re-log in again. That may solve the problem. Okay, this is the Guangzhou World Championships. We built 5 numbers of pools for this event. Just hold on. I think we need to ask everybody, if you cannot see the presentation, please voice it out. My suggestion is you log out and re-log in. Can everybody see the presentation now? Okay, I will continue. So coming closer to Asia, we are talking about this Southeast Asia Games. Myrtha also provides our excellent pools to the Southeast Asia Games. For example, in Vietnam in 2003 and the coming up 2021, Indonesia 2011, and Myanmar in 2013, Philippines in 2019, and Cambodia in 2023. All their pools are built by Myrtha. Myrtha pools also provide many excellent swimming pools to cities so that they have the best competitive swimming venues for high competitive events. The photo you see now is the Victoria Park Swimming Pool Center, the venue for the FINA World Cup event held every year. This is a few slides about the modern aquatic center for competitive events, as well as for family leisure enjoyment. This is the WFCU Center Community Pool in Canada. You can see it has a training lab swimming pool, and by the side, it has a spray pad. This is only a part of it. And the second part of it, it's holding a world championships before with a bigger 25-meter swimming pool. And then to the other part of the community center, it has a wave pool as well as slides. So this is more like a modern community pool with multi-function purpose. Let's talk a little bit about Myrtha with hotels. About 15 years ago, Myrtha has started aggressively serving the hotel sector. We are proud to be the approved supplier for Aqua Group, Hilton Group, and Marriott Group. Together, they have over about 17,000 hotels in the world. Different hotels have different demands. So the swimming pool design can be from simple to complicated. This is the Hilton Grand Islander. We'll talk a bit about the design in the later part of the presentation. Another hotel, simple but nice. And it can get very complicated like this one in Galaxy. We have a hotel presentation video. Please take a look at the video now.
没错，这次将在汉典的带领之下，来到版图双倍拓展，面积超过110万平方米，并注入更多崭新休闲元素的澳门银河和澳门百老汇度假城，汇集6间世界级酒店，并拥有全球最大规模的空中冲浪池，让宾客享尽夏日乐趣的水上乐园——天浪桃园。
哎，好玩，这个真的好玩。我原本觉得可能没有很刺激，但其实还蛮刺激。
看陈汉典在美女的陪伴下，在天浪桃园玩得多么开心！就知道来澳门银河绝对不能错过如此刺激好玩的水上乐园哦。
What you have just seen is the official presentation by the hotel, and you can see that this is a key function, key attraction of the Galaxy Hotel Group. And what you just see is a acrylic slides that is 60 meters long. And the river is actually the longest laser river in the world, built on the 5th floor. There are more hotels project. This is the landmark Oriental Hotel in Hong Kong. The name is more familiar to Thai customers. This is another Hyatt Regency. And actually, the reason why Myrtha get to this point with the hotel business is that we help the hotel owners and clients to realize their vision in different ways. And we are now actually helping the global hotel customers to design their standards so that they have less hassle, but a very beautiful pool. So let's talk a little bit about what is Myrtha, why a Myrtha is so advanced, and why we are used by many customers. Many of you don't know what it is. So Myrtha is actually a technology with a stainless steel panel base and a hard PVC laminated onto it. And the backside is also protected by a clear film, so that the stainless steel panel is by itself is well protected. It's a long, very high resistant technology, but further protected by 2 layers of plastic, so to go against the chlorinated water. Let's take a look at the manufacturing of the Myrtha panel. Okay, you can see that Myrtha, it's not a small company. It's actually a well-managed 200 plus people company. And we do swimming pool. Swimming pool is our primary business. And Myrtha is our primary technology. So why did we invent Myrtha in the first place? Certainly, we're talking about improvements. When our owner started the business, they realized that swimming pool concrete is not perfect. And people in Europe were looking for ways to improve this material. So we knew that concrete has their weaknesses. It's strong, it can stay for hundreds of years, but it leaks. And it's very hard to keep the dimensional accuracy when you build it. That means it can be distorted. It's not pure straight. It's hard to keep it accurate. And it's also very sensitive to movements. in modern buildings, if you have high rise or in an earthquake sensitive area, swimming pool leaks, as simple as that. So the next things in Europe, people are looking in stainless steel pools. That's particularly in Germany and in Austria. But even though it's called stainless steel, it's not rust-proofed. If you have firsthand experience with stainless steel pool, you know that it's very sensitive to chemicals, and the aesthetic is very simple. So this is a stainless steel pool. It's, when you are looking further away, it looks gray. When you're looking closer, it looks gray. So it's not a very appealing pool aesthetic. Some people say that it looks like a sink, a stainless steel sink you wash dishes. So it's not as aesthetically, it's not as appealing as you think. And also maintenance-wise, it requires a lot of care. You cannot go beyond certain temperature. It cannot go beyond certain chlorine levels, and it cannot be used with seawater or mineral water because it will ruin the aesthetic. If you go beyond the perimeter, which is, for example, the free chlorine levels has to be below 0.6, which is extremely hard in an outdoor environment. Basically, when the sunshine comes, it drops to 0. So in hot weather, in an outdoor pool, it's very hard to keep. But if you don't keep it in that way, your warranty is void. So the supplier will come back to you and say that, oh, you didn't keep to the standard that required, and the warranty is void. We cannot do anything. So there are people thinking that, okay, why don't we use, because we knew that PVC liner is very good against leakages. So why don't we use steel and galvanized steel and PVC liner? The problem is that rust will develop, and galvanized steel is not as long-term a material as we think. Chlorine in a flexible PVC liner, it can penetrate to behind the liner. The gas can penetrate. So what will happen is that you will see rusting of the panel in less than 1-2 years. So in Europe, galvanized steel is vastly used for backyard pools. It's not for commercial pools. It's for home, backyard, and usually it's buried underground. So it has less oxygen and it will rust slower. But in 15 years, it usually got replaced. So at the end of the day, the conclusion is that the stainless steel using a factory laminated hard PVC is the best solution. Go against leakage. It's very much rust-free. It can be built in very high accuracy. And because of the hard PVC laminated surface, we can use it as is, or we can put on tiles onto it for the aesthetic appearance. So now we have invented various ways to use these Myrtha panels. The conventional is the Myrtha system, which we employed a base frame, we use the wall structure, and we use a buttress to support the system. So in simple terms, this is a self-standing Myrtha system. Let's take a look at a video on how it's built. So this is the backside of a self-standing Myrtha system. You can see the buttress, you can see the stainless steel backside, which is actually not bare. It's covered by a transparent film to protect it from the moisture and fume from the chlorinated water. You can see that it is very neat and tidy. It won't get rusty. Another technology, we call it renovaction. It's a word from renovation. It was originally designed using Myrtha panels onto a older pool. So it's a clad-on system. When your pool is leaking, you can use this system and put on another layer of Myrtha so that it looks new and it will give you a perfect waterproofing. So let's take a look on how the renovation system is installed. So the renovation system is a clad-on system. The Myrtha panel usually is 2 mm thick, supported by ribs so that it won't deform. But in a free-form swimming pool, for example, you have a circular part, so that a panel, we can make the panel in the exact circular in a new pool. But if we are renovating an old pool, we find it very difficult to bend the panels into the exact shape. So now we have invented yet another renovation system. We call it a skin system. We use a slightly thinner stainless steel, and then we laminate the hard PVC onto it. But because the stainless steel film panel is only 0.5 mm thick, we can bend it on site to fit the required radius on site. And this is good for freeform pools, plus because it's still stainless steel with hard laminated PVC, we can still put on aesthetic tiles. So it has greatness in both worlds. We can use it in freeform pools, new or old. We can put on aesthetic tiles easily without any problem. So we are going to promote this system aggressively in the coming years. So let's talk a little bit about, we have a very good system now. The materials is good. But the thing is, if you have a good materials, you still need to exercise it. You still need to bring your design or to make the architect happy and make the clients happy. So let me present to you our concept drawings and how we proceed to make to realize a Myrtha project. So a concept drawing is similar to all architectures, knows that they need to draw in concept drawings to make the clients happy before they go into in-depth drawings. It's the same process for us. But usually, if we are dealing directly with a client, we will present to them our visions. But if we are dealing with an architect, we will gather the information from the architect's concept drawing or sketches, and then we will analyze it. We will come back with a viable solution that's mimic, satisfy the architect visions. It may not be 100% similar because we will give in our expertise in swimming pools to improve the system to a point that it's working, because sometimes if you draw something but the water won't listen to you, it flows to different directions or it doesn't work. So we will advise the architect, in order to do such a vision, we need to alter a little bit here and there, and we'll come back with a concept drawing showing exactly what it looks like. So this is a project in China. They have different visions about a pool. So we would tell them, okay, what it's looked like, and will be realized in this way. And the concept drawings also show the sections and enough details for all the supports and the space requirement, the force requirement, so that the architects and the structural engineers and even the client will know what it is. We, as now, virtual reality is so common, we can do concept drawings with a virtual reality, 3Ds, so that the clients will look at it and know exactly what we'll get. This is not a real photo. This is a concept drawing, a 3D drawing, to show the client what the filtration room will look like after the installation. This is the pre-3D. This is usually shown to the client what it will look like for a play feature. We also use Revit. Nowadays, Revit is something that if you have a very big structure and architects, various teams of people are working on one project, then you need to have a Revit so that people can analyze whether they person A team, B team, C team design different things will not crash onto each other. The clash analysis is very useful so that people will know what they will get. For example, this is a Revit for Copenhagen, so that we provide to the owner that this is what we will procure to you, and then they will put in different structures around our design, so that they know that there will be no clash onto it. People, you won't have this suddenly a beam sticking into the pool, or there will be no missing parts. So you can see that all the columns, I-beams are placed. It will not clash into each other. This is the usefulness of a Revit in different projects. You can see how detailed we can do it. This is in partner with Variable, a movable floor company, so that each of us do our Revit and we can put them to one drawing and present to the client. And also Myrtha Pools is not just, so we have a good materials and we have tons of expertise and people working with the most modern technology to provide the client and the architect a comfortable and good experience. And we are so confident that we give out the best warranty in the market. Structurally, we can give out 25 years. This is practically the longest. It's not the lifespan of the material. We have pools that is already existed for 50 years. And this is just a warranty we are giving out. In Hong Kong, we can't even give out that warranty, because even though the company is giving out 25, in Hong Kong, the law say that we can only give out 12, because that is the limit of any structural elements warranty. Water tightness depends on, in a reno action, we usually give out 10 years, and in the Myrtha buttress system, we usually give out 15 years. The PVC liner, it's a manufacturer's warranty for 10 years. And we are very confident because all these are proven long lifespan items. We are very confident about our warranty, and this is the best in the market. So let's talk a little bit about how we realize the architect's visions. This is very important in Thailand because I think people misunderstood that Myrtha must be built in one way. No, actually we are hand in hand with architects. We try to realize what the architect wants. But we do have our suggestions. It's a good faith suggestion because sometimes when we see something that is not working, or we see some materials is very slippery, or the norm in Europe says that you need to, for example, if you have a dark flooring, but you have a water depth variation, you need to show to your client that there is a change of water depth, for say. Then we need to advise the architect that you cannot use a monotone, otherwise people won't see there's a step there. In this case, for example, you can see that it's tile pool. The edge of the tiles, we have a line of very different colors, so to show that there is a water depth difference. Plus, we built together with the columns. We wrap around the columns with water tightness material so that it can maximize the pool area. This is another example. The Myrtha pool can be tiled. We tiled it very often, but in situation that it doesn't need to be tiled, our Myrtha panels by itself is a very good, appealing aesthetic. We can use stone, for example, and in a beachfront area, which mix well with the surroundings. And we can actually make stone in some part of it, and in the middle of the pool, it's just a plain PVC liner. For example, this is a beach surrounding. They want to have a variation of a graduation of color. We can still do that. And this one, they have a vision of using plexiglass on the side so that it blends into the surroundings. This is a Myrtha pool. But in it, it's all sandy and actual sand inside it. We can design so that it catered the requirement. This is yet another, the Miami pools. Simplistic, blends well with the design, just liner. But I can tell you, I love this kind of simplistic design myself. But I'm not saying that this is the only design we can do. We can do all good designs. Okay, another good thing about Myrtha is the lightweight and flexibility. A swimming pool using concrete walls will naturally be heavy because every meter we save at least a ton. So for a Myrtha pool in just 25 by 25 by 10 meters, for say, will save the clients at least 70 tons of concrete of weight to their foundations. And in some situation, this particular pool is built on an existing building that is 30 years old. It's add on a one floor on the top floor. The pool must be light. So the problem with a light pool is that when you use a very light, this is the base of the pool. When you use this kind of bond deck materials, it flexes when it's loaded. This particular pool flexes by about 10 mm when the pool is loaded. So normal materials, if you use a concrete pool, it will crack. So a Myrtha pool can solve this because over 25 meters, that means every 2 panels we absorb less than 1 mm. We can certainly do that. So We use it in airport concourse. We are building swimming pools, and because they are also using bond deck, Myrtha pools is the perfect solution for that. And we can make perfect infinity pool. I have main contractor telling me that it's virtually impossible for them to build a perfect infinity pool because they cannot make the measurement so accurate. So we can. And also this particular pool, you can see the beautiful outside and a hidden gutter to maximize the pool outlook. We can realize a very deep diving well. This is a 20 meters diving training center. And this particular pool, I show it because the two water bodies have different temperatures, and the architect wants to have a waterfall visual. So we managed to do a visual overflow, but with 2 ponds of water. So the top pond of water will circulate by itself, and the bottom pond of water will circulate by itself. And they won't mix, but there is an effect of waterfall. Lastly, it's this Sky River on high rise. As I said, this is the longest 575 meters of laser river on the 5th floor. It's the longest in the world. And there are a lot of demands by the client. It needs to have very, very nice play effects plus lighting effects. I have a video for the lighting effects. Let's take a look. This particular video is a little bit choppy. In reality, it's smoother. So as Antonio said, we will be happy to show you this video when we meet all of you in real life. Okay, we as Myrtha, our material and our design is so flexible in a material sense, so that we can take a lot of 3D movements. We are seismic proof. We can sustain very strong earthquakes. And in modern design, we build swimming pools between buildings. We can absorb their movements. And sometimes the movement is huge. For example, this one in Colombo, the movements is huge. Underneath this swimming pool, there is a restaurant, and we need to build a watertight swimming pool so that to absorb the movement and to still give out the aesthetic required. It's a big vision, but we are helping the architect and the clients to realize it. And we are showing you when we are dealing with Japan. We supply a lot of pools to New Zealand and Japan, a high-risk seismic zone. And we have, because of the technology and our design department, we knew where the weak points of a buttress. And in those seismic zones, the authorities, everything is very demanding on us showing how we can sustain such movement. We have specially reinforced buttresses, and we knew where we need to reinforce so that our system will stay after an earthquake. You can see that all this modeling and everything showing to the authorities, letting them know that we calculate according to the required codes. And in summary, the Myrtha advantages is because we have a very, very strong Myrtha panel to begin with. We have the best materials. We are seismic resistant so that we can build on high floors that is vibrating. Because of we are seismic resistant, we are very strong water tightness wise. Because we are in module, if you build on high buildings, it's very easy for us to transport the material to upstairs. And we only use certified installers. We train our own installers in-house. They are all certified. They have to be recertified after certain years. And we can install the pool very, very fast. Most of the time, we give you a longer installation period, but in desperate times, we can help by double shifting. We can build a swimming pools in days. If the clients foot our bills in double shifting. But we can help the client, we can help the architect to realize, and it's a proven long lifespan material. We are green. I know in some parts of the country this is not so important, but in other parts of the world, people are demanding. They want to pitch in their effort to save the world. So we are green because we have less. We don't waste that much materials. We have a very small much smaller carbon footprint in general. And I want to quickly summarize a little bit behind the scene so that people will know about Myrtha. What is Myrtha? Why are we so good? In Myrtha, we are very into research. We want to do good. We want to make improvements to a sense that in areas that nobody is thinking about. For example, this is commercial requirement because people are getting into using plexiglasses, glass walls for infinity pool. It looks good. So we are into it 10 years ago. This is not new. So we have the latest design. You need it. We already have it. We built this kind of pool easily. And we keep on looking for good aesthetic products to suit the needs. This is a Bisasa tiles. Usually we suggest only using tiles at the water line because when you look at the water body, when there's a light breeze or something beyond 60 centimeters or beyond just 30 centimeters is already vague. So people cannot tell what are you exactly using underneath it. So in general, we suggest using tiles or mosaic tiles in the water line so that people will enjoy that part of the aesthetic. But if you want the whole pool to be tiled, so no problem. And we also find that there's a curl-like finishing. It's neat and tidy. Some architect wants to use a simplistic design over their design. And also because of we want to cater what the architect is doing, we are in the process of inventing various type of gutters to accommodate different gutter grills. So they can be grilled, stone, groove in various ways. So we are already working in our minds how we can satisfy what the client or architect wants by altering our basic designs. This is about competitive swimming. So competitive swimming needs the water to be quiet, but yet they want circulation. So we need to design some inlets that has a direction. We can shut off the top ring of inlets and keep the bottom ring. Usually the swimming pool is like 2-3 meters deep. So there are 2 rings of inlets. We shut off the top ring and then we keep the bottom ring circulating. And yet we still need the bottom ring to have certain angle so that we will angle our water flow. And by doing that, the first version has certain minor points they noticed, and they are in the middle of inventing a second version that will improve the circulation. We're using CFD model to represent our findings and to see what needs to be done. So this will be our later model of the inlets for competitive swimming. And not only that, we invent apparatus, equipment to test in real life what the inlet speed is, because in competitive swimming, this is very, very high demanding. Coaches will look at the surface of the water and complain about circulations. So we have to make sure that we satisfy their needs. So again, we use a lot of CFD to simulate the water movement, to make sure that we place the inlets in the correct places. And in such, for example, this kind of lazy river environment, normally people are guessing, but for us, we are not guessing. We actually put it into a CDF model to see what it is. And also we measure acoustic performance. We have silences for our inlets, for our dropouts. We put in CFD into, this is a dye test. So we actually put our CFD modeling and test it with dye so that we know that it's accurate. And we invest a lot of time to improve our membrane. We are in the evolution 6. Right now we're using 5, but we are inventing evolution 6 already. So we also invest a lot of time to find out, is there any difference with different color? And we even hand in hand with a university to find out what happened if we have different colors. And this is a biofilm investigation. So we do it with a university and investigate in different colors what will happen. And we find out in actually a white color gutter has less algae growth than a blue color Myrtha gutter. So that's why from now on because the gutter is covered and because the gutter usually has the most algae in it because of the dirt and everything it collected. So all the gutter we provide now, because of this finding, it's white, but it's covered, so you won't see it. But we are so into researching, and this is something that we are proud of doing. Okay, that's all I have to say about Myrtha today, and thank you very much.
And now I would like to welcome Mr. Giulio Orsatis, After Sales Installations and DPT Managers, to take Myrtha's explanation further with the project reference on the Posh Tower in Miami Beach.
The project in Miami is on Sunny Isle Beach, Miami, in an area of big development from Miami Beach to Fort Lauderdale. There are several big projects going on over there. The area is very famous of course, for very wealthy people getting very nice apartments. So just for you to share some numbers, the total investment of the project is 560 million USD. The tower is 200 meters high, and we built 116 spa units, basically on every single balcony or terrace that there is on the tower. The average price of the flat is about 6.5 million US dollars. And there are also 2 penthouses on the top that were sold for about $20 million each. We also built a couple of the 2 private pools for a penthouse, of course, and 2 spa pools at the lower floor, 1 common pool outdoor with a small hydro massage pool on the side. This is the picture of the finished spa pool product. As you can see, is very compacted on the side of the balcony. This is the picture of the common pool on the floor level, on the beach level. And these are the 2 spa pools that we built on the, I think it's the first level for common use of the tenants. Let's see why Myrtha was chosen for these projects. Mostly for, of course, design advantages and for construction advantages. During the presentation, I'd like to go deeper into both of them. Let's start with design. We have heard the word flexibility a lot in both with Antonio and with Johnny's presentation. For sure, this was one of the reasons why Myrtha was chosen for the project, because we wanted to, the architect and the customer want to have as much flexibility as possible. But very, very important for the customer and the designer was the fact that the Myrtha structure can be independent from the rest of the building, from a static behavior and the design behavior. And as you can imagine, the tower in Miami is 200 meters high on the seashore, so is very exposed to strong winds, risk of hurricanes, and the structural characteristics of stainless steel and the type of fixings that we have on the concrete really gave a great advantage for the designer to make the whole calculation work for the tower. Also, another very important thing is the limit of supply. So as you can see from the picture that we took on site, it is very, very clear where the Myrtha supply starts and what is the responsibility of Myrtha in terms both of supply and installation. So you have to imagine a general contractor building a tower 200 meters high with 116 flats and units. They want to make sure that every product is delivered and every product maintains the same characteristics. And for the customer, was very important to have a single point of reference in Myrtha with a very clear limit of supply to deal with. This is, for example, the area where the filtration is installed. So as you can see, the stairs, the filtration, the external wall, everything is part of the same supply, and everything is very well defined in terms of limit and therefore responsibilities for installations or potential issues. Another advantage is the fact that, as we heard before as well, the stainless steel is very light, so it's about a seventh of the concrete weight. And I think it goes by itself the importance of weight in high-rise construction. But it's also ideal for high water table. We're building on the seashore, so of course it's important to find a good balance between the foundation and the piling, the weight of the podium, the weight of the pool itself. So with our installation, we were able to let the GC build lighter foundations with a shallower podium, so using less concrete. And we were also able to isolate the pool from the sea, so from the seashore. But this was a choice of the designer. In reality, we could have built the pool directly on the sand with a very small amount of concrete because of the lightweight of the steel and its good behavior with the high water table. Another advantage is linked to the waterproofing. Our technology allows to have several layers of waterproofing. That means that we can add safety to potential issues. Issues can come from misuse, from natural causes. For example, in Miami, during a hurricane, a lot of debris or materials could fly over actually in the swimming pool and damage the waterproofing. But in this specific case, we have several layers that allow us to have extra safety. And it also allows us to make good inspections. So in a concrete pool, especially if there's a backfill, it's basically impossible to find the root cause of a potential leak. With our technology, everything being exposed, it's very easy to remove a panel or use a camera or something and actually find the source of the problem. In the picture here, for example, you can see the first layer of waterproofing on the main slab, and on the top of this, like we were waterproofing the fixing, so the bars that we used to fix the base frame were waterproofing this, and then on top of this we had 2 extra layers of waterproofing. Let's move then to the construction advantages. The installation phases are very well defined in the construction of a Myrtha pool. First, of course, the GC provides us with civil works that we check. We make sure they have the right dimensions. And then we can proceed with the mechanical installation and the waterproofing of the vertical panels. If there's a need to do extra concrete works, it can be done once we have completed the mechanical installation. But this is a moment where the GC could keep going with his own activities. So let's say there's a need to work on the lights on the ceiling, or there's a need to work on the deck, on pouring on the deck. So all these activities can be done while we're installing the mechanical structure, or just after that. We will leave the finishes, so the tiles and the membrane and the final waterproofing after that. I think it's a good advantage to have installation phases that are so well defined, because we can properly fit in the schedule. From the picture here, you can find some of the elements that we have been discussing. You can see a waterproofing layer below the base frame. We can see lightweight material, the yellow polystyrene that we use to avoid the deflection on the renovation panels. And you can see that we can mix also technologies. So we can use for one side of the pool the renovation technology, so go against the wall, or we could build a self-standing panel by itself. Also, which is very important for the specific project in Porsche and for the high-rise, we always suggest to use prefabricated benches or stairs made of PVC and ABS, so plastic material. This is very important because it reduces the overall weight, and it also allows us to work in the swimming pool without bringing any without mixing the schedule with the GC, because we don't need extra pouring inside the pool, but we can just build a structure and then install our product inside our structure. In fact, the schedule gets a lot of benefits when we can install a Myrtha pool on these type of projects. The coordination with the GC is very easy. We can do smaller breakdowns of our activities. We can increase the number of people during certain phases to make sure that we are faster, and then we can take a break for a month, days, weeks, whatever, just for the GC to finish his work, and then we can come back to do the finishes of the waterproofing. So this is usually very appreciated, and once we give the layout of the pool and the height of the pool, the GC is then able to complete his works, and then it's time for us to do our finishes. For example, for the specific project in Porsche, on 116 units, we were working on several different floors. So we found an agreement with the GC to start working from one floor, while other people, other trades started working from the opposite floor. And then we went in two different directions, one upwards, the other one downwards. And we basically exchange the floor and exchange the activities. This was very useful because we have a completely different technology, and we use a completely different space than all the other trades that are on site. So we're able to mix both the scheduling timing, but also the schedule in terms of space. Another advantage is logistic. We can literally transport the pool through doors and elevators as long as we have the right informations on the openings, and we can pack accordingly in our warehouse. So all the pallets, all the materials will leave Italy packed on the size that we need to get on site. We can literally design smaller panels or smaller parts to be then assembled on site to fit into doors and elevators. It's just a matter of coordinating. For sure, what is very important is that we don't have heavy materials, and we don't need special assistance, and we don't need cranes on site. So for us, an elevator like the one that you see in the picture is enough to bring our materials to the desired level. Specifically for Porsche, we did a lot of work coordinating with the GC, delivering the right amount of containers with the right amount of pools at certain time, and then divide the materials floor by floor in order to have all the pallets that were needed at specific floors to build at specific levels. Another advantage is the tools that we use. As for logistics, we don't need heavy equipment. We don't have welding of stainless steel, so we do not require hot permits or any other validation for specific welding. Everything is bolted. We use very standard tools like drilling machines or impacts. So we really don't need any validation from the GC. The only specific tool that we have is a Leister gun, which is a hot air gun, and is very specific for the thermoplastic welding of the PVC, which is a very clean job and a very specific job that our people can carry on after specific training. The last, but not least aspect of the construction advantages is the quality control. One important thing is that any product issue or dimensional issue can be identified promptly. And for me, the most important point is that every installation phase allows for adjustment. So we don't pour a single element of concrete. We have several parts that we assemble together, all bolted, and we can keep adjusting the height, the length. We can modify a finish. We can add elements. We can drill a hole and add a light if we need to, but we can keep doing that until we deliver the pool. So it's a continuous process where we can always give a chance to the GC or to the customer to change his mind, or we can always give ourselves a chance to adjust to someone else's mistake. For example, in Porsche, we were measuring the slab of the unit, and depending on the height of the slab, because these were all different pours of concrete, so every floor has a different height. Because of our possibility in adjusting the height of the pool, we were always giving the GC the same finished floor level, and this was very appreciated from them, because then they could always maintain the same type of finishes. They could match with the doors and with all the other frames, etc. So thank you very much for listening. And if you have any question, I'll be here for the Q&A session.
And now leaves us with the final presentation by Mr. Johnny Lee on another project reference, which is the Galaxy Hotel in Macau.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Galaxy Hotel Sky River project. So this is the Galaxy Macau Sky River. It's a very, very grand vision by Galaxy Hotel. It all started, well, Galaxy Hotel, the first phase one, it's 2010. It was first grand opening. By 2012, they already have this model coming out. It's different. If you look at the river on this side, it's different in shape. And we were contacted in 2012 second quarter. That's when the time Galaxy was looking for an aquatic consultant. And we were asked again in 2013 around the first quarter to participate as a supplier, not the consultant. So we work hand in hand with the consultant. This is the consultant draft drawing. It's not final, but it's very close to final. Extremely alike. So the consultant gave out this drawing, and in that phase, they give out some concept drawings on what the vision is. Certainly it looks different because drawing something and realize it in a cartoon way is not, it will not be identical. But if you look at well, this is the example we have to give out in 2013 third quarter to the client. We need to convince the client that we built, this is also our project, we built this before, we work with architects on various projects in ways that resemble what we can do. So we have to tell them that, oh, okay, all your design elements, we've done it before, we just have to put them together. So this is how we convince our client. In previous projects that we've done various items that suits their design. And the client actually gave us a task in 2013 fourth quarter. This was their wave pool back then. It's only been used for 3 years. Every single year, the paint, the original paint delaminated. The supplier then told the client that, oh, we will stay, but it didn't. Every year they told the same, oh, this one will stay, it didn't. So every single year, the client has to repaint it, and every single year it came off for 3 years. So this task was given to us that we have to use our technology to make this look good. It was eyesore according to the client. So this is how it looks before our renovated. So after the renovation, we use our technology, Myrtha technology. We connected to basically this is a renovation project. We did it this way, before and after, similar. So by doing that, we gave the confidence to the client, and they finally, Galaxy Hotels signed a contract with us for this river. Concurrently, in December 2013, while we were doing the wave pool, we already start the phase 1. This is the first initial drawing, version A. Of the river. And by April 15th, 2014, we have come to, I think it's version H or something of the river. You can see all the lighting designed, everything, all of them are there. And it's vastly complicated. And all the sections, because we need all these to be in place before the concrete is poured. The concrete will be poured in June. So we have no time to lose. We give out all this information so that they can adjust the pouring of the concrete of the deck. All this designed, we have to work hand in hand with the architect. We have to work hand in hand with the aquatic designer to make sure that everything is designed accordingly. We even have to tell them how to waterproof their planters, because we found out that in the wave pool, in the other pool, the problem, the core of the problem came from the planter. The planter is leaking, not the pool is not leaking. So we have to advise them how to do the planter properly. So Galaxy Hotel, the main contractor, gave us a nice program, very accurate beforehand. And then it comes with this schedule, but nothing in the schedule came on time. So suppose we have at June, we can start our installation. You can see that Myrtha Materials is on site, but you can see the site is not really ready for any kind of installation. And in August, some part of it is ready. We outpace because our speed of installation. The team, Julio Sand, Giuseppe, and the local team works all hand in hand. We outpace the site by far. So in August, you can see that we have we are only installed for like 3 weeks. We already outpaced them. We have actually have to slow down our installation pace. And you can see the real life that the construction we install, we have everything here, there, but we can't work more. We cannot do the liner because they are still installing. And this is one of the feature that is the most appealing, the acrylic bridge. Underneath there's a walkway, people can see people floating around in it. But installing this is a nightmare. For months, we were told there is 2 crane labeled in these 2 boxes. The circle is the extent it can reach. So we were thinking that, okay, we put in the materials in the red boxes, and then we transfer it to the final location here. So it drops first here, storage area 1, storage area 2, storage area 3, and then to installation. In reality, these 2 cranes were taken off because the site was late. They cannot let the crane be there anymore. So this is, remember, this is on the 7th floor, and each of these guys, these acrylic parts weighs about 5 tons. So there's no way, it's irregular floor area. So we have to be innovative to find a way to move these acrylic sections from ground floor in various locations and then put it there. Finally, we just have to do it the ancient way. We built derricks, and we have to transfer it to the first place and then slowly transfer it to another. So in December 2014, this is what we did. We basically create a big rail so that we can move parts from one location to another. First, we move it from ground floor with the crane at the back to the top roof. So you can see the acrylic section here. And then we use these guys to roll it from, because we actually have a roller here. So we rolled it into place, use this rig and lowered it to the next level. And from here, we push it into another location, change rig, and then put it onto the supporting places. So you can see we did it like 3 sections, and that is how we do it in less than like 2 weeks. But the preparation time was over a month. It cost us a bundle. I mean, it cost the client a bundle because they have to foot the bill as well. So on March 17th, we managed to get the water in while the other places are still doing their site landscape thing. And by May 27th, there was a grand opening for this job. And this is a well-done job, and we are very proud of it. The owner is very proud of it, and it attracts all the people going to their hotels. Galaxy Hotel is actually is the most welcoming hotel in Macau. All the other hotels, they depend on high rollers, the gamblers, but Galaxy Hotel is different. They have a very, very high occupancy rate of over 80% all the time because of the family, all these attractions, water attractions they have. Okay, thank you very much. This is all about Galaxy Hotel.
Thank you very much, Johnny. I found that the 3 presentations together have given us clear pictures of Myrtha pools and also a lot of useful information. Obviously, the products itself has a lot of potential, and it is something that our region should consider its application. And it confirms why SNAPA have included Myrtha pools in our business development plan. So now I would like to move on to the Q&A session.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Ponsri, for your introduction. Thank you, Johnny and Julio, for being fantastic speakers in introducing us to the main advantages and of our system and two impressive references, which we thought could be kind of representative of many of the advantages that we present for our customers, for the architects. We have so many others, of course, and I invite all those who are interested to take a look at our website, because the website is a very useful navigation tool. There are so many references, it's very easy to navigate. So it's a good starting point to see. They are uploaded. You can see the videos, the assembly videos, the production, the system, the accessories. You can find a lot of information there, and just by yourself, easy to navigate. And the references. There's plenty of references to be visited just to have an idea about what we can do. Posh Tower and Galaxy in its own part were very interesting for especially high rise. Even the galaxies are considered a high rise, you know. So we have certainly, it is definitely where Myrtha can give definite advantage over other technologies. So anyway, we collected a few questions from you today, and someone asked us what is the grade of stainless steel we use for our pools, and normally we use for the structure, so the buttress system and the panels, we use a 304 grade stainless steel. So this is what we believe being the best solution for achieving a great degree of resistance and to oxidation. Even if we separate the pool, our stainless steel is separated from the water, from the chlorinated water, by a lamination of a PVC hard coating lamination, and this further protects our stainless steel. But even in the back, we have an impressive resistance to stainless steel thanks to the 304 properties. And we are the only maker in the market who use this kind of combination. The inside is all stainless steel, is 304, inside is further protected by continuous lamination of hard-coated PVC. So this connects to another questions, which was if the stainless steel can rust. And so we can say that if the pool is well maintained, if the pool is the maintenance is well done, if the chlorination of the water is under control, if also the back of the pool, the corridor and the other part of the pool is under the pool, if the corridor is well ventilated, if everything is done properly, the pool will last. The pool will last for years and years. We have references over 25 years, 30 years, and we are so confident that we offer 25 years warranty on the structure. So if you were not confident that the pool wouldn't rust, we would never do that. We would never be able to offer 25 years on the structure and 10 years on the membrane as a warranty. So this is why we use more expensive materials, because we want long-lasting pools. And you can go on our website, you can visit them. Some of our references are more than 25 years old, 30 years old, and they still look like new. Yes, sometimes you renovate something, but the maintenance cost, the renovation process is way easier and less expensive than any other pool in the world. We had some more questions. Let me see.
Which about the chances for the leakage? Maybe when you bolt the stainless steel, the
Okay.
chances that the leakage would happen.
So the way our system is made is specifically made for avoiding leakage. So the main purpose of our system is to offer more waterproofing than any other. Especially if you think about concrete, which is the major technology used. This is the reason why we were born. This is the reason why we're using these materials and this system, is to prevent leakage. This is the main, we have many advantages, but the main strong advantage is to avoid leakage. So concrete, as you know better than me, concrete will always leak. You can, you can make it, of course, concrete also can be made. You can have different concrete, because people think about concrete pools, but concrete pools can be done in very different ways. Can be extremely cheap. Even concrete pools can be very expensive. If you want to make a pool which is not leaking in concrete, you can make it. Of course, there are plenty in the world, but it is going to be more expensive. It's going to be as expensive as ours. It's going to be even more expensive than ours. And the more difficult, more challenging the project will be, such as a high-rise, for example, and the more expensive the concrete pool will cost to achieve something close to us, something which is for us is the normality, is the standard. For us, a pool made on the 0th floor, on the 100th floor, we have the same standard. You're gonna buy the same pool. With concrete, you buy some cheap concrete pool in the backyard. Maybe when you go up to the 100th floor, you're gonna spend twice as much as you're gonna spend with the Myrtha, maybe, because it's very difficult to pump up concrete up to that level. Plus, concrete has a lot of disadvantages. With concrete, after you pour concrete, you have to let it dry. Then most of the time, with the adjustment of the concrete, concrete will crack. So the chance of leaking starts from the very beginning. And after the concrete pool will start leaking, it will be very, very hard, as Johnny and Julia were saying, to understand where the pool is leaking and how to fix it. So most of the time, why the liner, why the membrane is so popular in Southeast Asia? Why? Because most of the concrete pools were not well made. They start leaking. So what is common to do, someone comes with a membrane and they put the membrane everywhere. Easy fix, because there's no other way. It's the easy and cheap and quick fix, but then it's not the pool that you wanted. And the membrane can be cut again, and you're back again. It will leak again, and you will stop the pool from working again. You need to empty, and then people cannot use it. And so here is when it comes to another question, which is the cost, the price. And, because yes, we're fantastic, we have a lot of advantages, but then in the end, everybody has a budget, right? So how much it's gonna cost? So this is a common question, obviously, because you want the best, but you also have a budget. It's hard to just give, a flat answer to this, because as I was saying, depending on the project, concrete pools also may cost very, may have a very different cost. And sometimes when you make a cost comparison, people, they don't even compare apples to apples. Sometimes they don't make the right comparison. With concrete, some people, they don't even consider in the cost the waterproofing sometimes. With us, how much it's going to cost from the design till the delivery. you're not going to have surprise. This is going to be the price. This is going to be the cost. Everything is designed before. Down to the installation, the cost is not going to increase. With concrete, you never know. Usually, we may say on average that we may be 30% more expensive than a well-done concrete pool, all in all. But even that is not always the answer. If you want to build a pool like Porsche, or if you want to build something like Galaxy, or you want to build something like the Colombo ITC tower that Johnny showed to you before, and you try to do that in concrete, I guess with concrete will be more expensive. And we will never have the same advantages. So it's very much a case by case, but don't be scared by the price, because even the upfront price, we have study with showing that we are less expensive than concrete. And we're not talking about the advantages in the long run, the maintenance costs, which are way, way lower.
Okay. I think the time is quite tight. I think we have the time for one more question. Shall we do? What if they have been asking if they want to move, like, let's say they have the stainless steel pool and then they want to move the pools to the new location if they're not happy with the existing one. Is it going to be like getting a new pool, or just taking the whole thing out and then putting onto the new location?
So I'm guess we are talking about a self-standing pool somewhere. So it's not integrated, it's not inside a building, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are specialists in temporary pools, as you can imagine, because we made so many for the competitions, Olympic Games, World Championships, and all the international or national games. So we build temporary pools using our system, because it's like a big Lego, like a big Meccano. It can be assembled, self-standing. You can leave it there for years, and then you can remove it. So it is our specialty to do that. We are the quickest in doing that. We can assemble a 50-meter pool in less than a month if we want. And then we can disassemble and move it back. Some pools, they were born in some countries. Now they've been transferred. They became a permanent pools in some other countries. Some pools made for some Olympic Games in Brazil, now you can find them in France. So it is certainly possible. The cost is, you can save a lot of money for sure, because you're going to buy some material which are exactly the same as new, but they will never cost as new. You cannot utilize all the materials. Some materials will need to be scrapped, obviously. So the liners, some material, like let's say 30% cannot be reutilized, but 70%, yes. So the only thing you will pay for will be just the labor cost and the transportation. So it is possible, definitely possible.
Perfect. Okay. So all the other questions we will reply them via email after this live webinar. Okay. Thank you very much.
We'll be happy to help to answer all the further questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone who have joined us today's sessions for the live webinar, and special thanks to our three speakers, Johnny, Antonio, and Giulio, whom joined us from Hong Kong and Italy and has made this a truly global seminar. And please do not forget to fill out our questionnaires that we will send to you after this live webinar. And if you need more information, please do not hesitate to contact us up here at our email esnapa@esnapa.co.th. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. สวัสดีค่ะ